beautiful day up north. Let's go. Yo.
Hello guys, welcome to this video. This is a tips for Japan video that I'm making because, well, I just came back from there and I decided what are some of the good tips that I've learned when experiencing Japan. Now, first off, you gotta decide to yourself, why Japan? Why would I want to go there? And I would say that Japan is a very diverse country or place, thing, whatever. It's very traditional in its cultures. There's just so much to explore there. There's different districts, prefectures, and things like that that you go to. That's almost like whole entire different worlds within Japan. Japan isn't very English-centric. There are some people that are learning English as a second language, so you may get lucky when you meet Japanese people. Japanese people are very polite, they're kind, they're kind of welcoming and things like that. So Japan is a very nice place to go to. First tip out of my huge list here is planning. You gotta really plan your trip, mainly because I don't feel like it's a good idea to go to Japan on a whim. Because if you just go on a whim, you're gonna probably spend extra unnecessary money on things, accommodations and things like that, or very pricey flights and things like that. So plan. And what I did was, first off, to find a good plane ticket, I used skyscanner.net. And the reason why I used it is because it has a nice nifty function called everywhere. So for example, we'll use Los Angeles as your base point, and you can type in everywhere. And you also have the option to type in the cheapest month. You can do a specific date or a specific month, but if you choose cheapest month, it'll show you the cheapest price found within like 15 days or so, things like that. It gives you a whole list of places and the average prices to get there. So if you wanted to go to Japan, it'll cost you somewhere around the range of $484. And you also can choose different prefectures. So let's just say Tokyo. It'll cost you maybe about under $500. So that's what this website does. It gives you a general idea, general sense of how much it's gonna cost you, and then it gives you an option as to, like, it shows you the cheapest month is December. And then it gives you a whole bunch of listings of numbers of different prices, price points, and then you can choose like the cheapest one. Like say here's $245. December 5th, and then your return, you can choose the cheapest. Right now it's saying just a day. Spending one day in Japan is cost you $490, and then you can, like, we'll say spend a week, it jumps to $552. But there are cheaper prices. If you just wait and keep searching, you'll find a price that'll fit you in the specific amount of time that you need. You can also search hotels from here. Skyscanner is, I guess it affiliates with Expedia, because when I used it, it redirected me to Expedia.com, but you can find different hotels and things like that. So also I would recommend getting maybe a dictionary or a book to study before your trip. That way you can get like some of the language down or some of the places you want to go. Hotel wise, there is a lot to choose from. The cheapest prices are usually either a capsule hotel, which are these little honeycomb type things where you just get an individual capsule, or hostels, which you share like a bunk bed or something. I am not a capsule type person or a hostel type person, mainly because I don't really feel, see those are capsules right there, I don't feel comfortable in, like, there's no door, it's like a curtain and you're surrounded by people you don't know. I don't really feel comfortable. I like my privacy. So I rather choose an actual hotel, or you can choose a Airbnb if that fits your fancy. So there's capsule hotels, hostels hotels, business hotels, and like higher class hotels. I chose a business hotel mainly because it was about $50 a night, and it was in Roppongi, which is like one of the, you know, one of the more modern cities and more catered to tourists. So that's what I chose. Okay, number 2, currency exchange. You are gonna have to exchange your US dollars to Japanese yen. At the time I went, $1 US got you 103 yen. As of right now, $1 US gets you 104 yen, which is a little bit better than when I got it. Depending on where you live, you can get your currency exchange at the airport, at your local airport. I'm pretty sure there's a currency exchange there, or at Japan, the Tokyo airport. So certain banks do have foreign exchange, and maybe like say if you're in Los Angeles, you can go to like I think Little Tokyo or something, maybe, I don't know, and find shops that could exchange or dollars to yen. I don't know. You have to search your area. They say that the best place to get it is locally because the airports do charge differently. They might charge you more. So like say if $1 US will only get you like 90 yen instead of the 104 because they have like a charge. So find out the rates first. Japan is a very cash oriented place, paper and coin. Some places use cards like debit and credit card, but not a lot. It's mostly cash centric. If you need, you can use their ATMs if your card is able to go through foreign places. So the best place to use the ATMs is the post office, Japanese post offices, or 7-Eleven. They're the best place that'll get you the most bang for your buck. They don't have any, I don't think there's, some cards do have foreign exchange fees. So yeah, like I said, you gotta do your research. Number 3, how much should you bring to Japan? It all depends on how much you're gonna eat, where you're gonna go for transportation fees like the subway or taxi or things like that. If you're gonna buy gifts, you are gonna drink, you're gonna visit some shrines do charge, or you're gonna go to various attractions or theme parks. It all depends on you. So do the research. For me, I spent about a week in Japan, and I only brought with me about $510 worth of yen. By the time I was done, I spent only about 400 of that until I got to the airport, and then I just basically spent the rest on souvenirs. I did go to Disneyland, I did go to different prefectures and things like that, but I don't drink, so that saves me on money. And I did buy most of my food at like 7-Elevens or convenience stores where the prices do get lower the later you buy it, basically. You can use that as to help your budget. Just load up on a whole bunch of bento boxes, put them in whatever fridge or freezer you have wherever you're staying, and live off of that, and then spend the rest on other things. It all depends on you. Most people that I've talked to, if you're the drinking type, if you like to eat, and you're spending a week there, $1,000 should be your safe guideline. So you're spending a week there, 1,000, 2 weeks, 2,000, just to be on the safe side. You may not even spend all of that, but at least you have it on hand. Okay, number 4. This is probably the most important one that I feel is like, it's like a game changer, it's a lifesaver, is get a pocket Wi-Fi. It's just this little device that you put in your backpack or whatever that gives you internet access throughout Tokyo, Japan, or wherever. You can normally get it at the airport. There's a little kiosk there. The one I got was from SoftBank. It's a lifesaver. It saves you so much time and effort trying to figure out things, which train to take, where you're going and things like that. Having Wi-Fi is important. It is necessary. You can, however, there are other options, like if you have a jailbroken phone or something, you can just get a SIM card to rent and everything will be on your phone. But I suggest the pocket Wi-Fi because you can use multiple devices. So if you bring your laptop with you, you can go on the internet there and things like that. So pocket Wi-Fi is very important. One thing you need to know is that you have to have a credit card or some kind of debit card or something like that when you're renting, because they do have a sort of safety deposit that you need to put up in order to rent the device. At the time, it was, they put a $40,000 yen hold on your credit card. That's about $400. So if you lose the device or you damage it, that 40,000 is used to replace it and things like that. Under the contract, you can get like insurance where it'll take most of, like if you do damage it, you don't have to pay the full amount if you get the insurance. It's up to you. If you feel like you're gonna go get rough on it, I suggest getting the insurance. But they do, like I'm saying, they do put a hold of $400 until you return the device. So this segues into number 5. Number 5 is phone apps. Before you get to Japan, download some of the following apps like Google Translate, or you can also use if you have an iPhone, the maps on there is very useful. There's also a rail map that you can download. Now, it used to be Japanese specific, but now I think they changed it to like the whole world or something when you look it up. But these apps will help you in your journey. Google Translate is like a godsend for me, and I'll show you why. Okay, so these are what they look like. This is how the rail map looks like, Google Maps. This is Google Translate, another rail map. I don't think it looks like this now. I think it just says World Rail Map or something, but the most important, I think, is the Google Translate. Now, as you can see, there's different options. There's a picture option, a speaking option, and then a writing option. The one I use the most is the picture one. So you click on it, and then you take a picture of what you want. So let's say I have this Japanese writing on it, and I don't know what it means. So what I do is I just take a picture of it. So you take a picture of it, it'll scan the characters, and then it'll highlight it in little boxes. As you can see, it highlights in little boxes. And all you do is swipe your finger over whatever you want, and then it'll translate on top what it means. So this helped me a lot when I was like in the 7-Eleven and I didn't know what I was eating. I would just take a picture of the text on it, and it'll show me like grilled beef or something like that. So very helpful. And also you can use the speaking thing. So you press on the microphone, and then it'll show you English and Japanese. So it'll recognize either language and then translate for you. So, for instance, let's say in English, hello, how are you?
Konnichiwa, genki desu ka?
It'll translate for you. Or if you speak in Japanese, Ohayo gozaimasu.
Good morning.
Ah! Look at that! Here's another one. You are very sexy.
あなたはとてもセクシーです。
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I can get some chicks with this thing. Oh my god. Kawaii!
Tiny.
Oh, okay. Kawaii.
Tiny.
Cute! Cute! See, sometimes it's not perfect, but, you know, it helps. So get it. Google Translate that bitch. Number 6. Suica or Passmo cards. You don't need it. It's very convenient when you're using the subway train. Throughout my trip, I just used tickets. So I would just go to the ticket counter, input what I needed to input, and get a ticket and go wherever I needed to go. Normally, the trick is, if you don't know how much it's gonna cost, just buy the lowest amount ticket you can. Wherever train station you go, if you owe more money, there's these little machines that look like the ticket counter that says fare adjustment. You put it in there, it'll tell you how much more you need. You input that much money, you get a new ticket, and then you can use it to get out. There are other options other than the train station. You can use taxis, which are not very recommended because they are expensive. You can use buses. You can rent a car, but if you're not used to left-handed driving, also there are tolls at certain places like bridges and stuff. You're just gonna spend extra money that way as well. So subways are probably the best bet for you if you want to get to different districts or prefectures. It's very convenient. They are usually really on time. So if it says that you're gonna get to your destination in like 20 minutes, you'll usually get there in 20 minutes. And then the Passmo and Suica card are just for convenience. You don't need to go to the ticket counter. You just preload it for like 20 bucks. And then that usually will last you a week. You can keep the card if you like. There's a 500 yen deposit when you get the card. And I believe if you return the card, you can get that 500 yen back. It's like 5 bucks. But I would rather keep it souvenir. There's also certain places where you can actually use whatever money you have on the Suica card to buy stuff like food and things like that. So that's another convenience as well. Speaking of convenience, number 7, convenience stores. I said this earlier, but convenience stores like 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson's are like a really go-to place for anything you may need. They don't have the hugest selection of stuff, but they usually have something you're looking for. So whether it be food or ingredients to make food, you can also get like toiletries, deodorant, and things like that. But they don't have a lot of the brand name stuff. Most of the stuff that they have there are stuff I don't think you would recognize. Like for instance, I'm a Old Spice deodorant type of guy with like the sort of clear looking gel looking like deodorant. They don't have that. They have like those roll-on ones with the little ball that you put on, things like that. They usually have everything you can think of that you might need, just not a huge selection of it. Not like different brands, just like the generic brand. And if you ever have any late night dining needs, these places are usually 24 hours, so they'll have something if you're hungry. Especially desserts. Oh my god, the cream puffs and stuff like that. They may live healthy, but they love their desserts, let me tell you. Okay, number 8. Japanese people in general are polite, nice when they're in their place of work or when they're not moving. Basically, I'm saying this like, if you're on the sidewalk or you're on an escalator, if you get in their way and they're trying to get someplace, they'll brush past you without like a second thought. It's just how they are. They are, when they need to get somewhere, they need to get somewhere in a hurry. And if you're blocking them, you just gotta get out of their way, basically. So there are, like in their culture, escalator wise, if you're just gonna stand on the escalator, you stand on the left side. The right side is for people who are in a rush that needs to get where they're going. And if you're blocking that side, you're gonna get shoved or whatever, and it's gonna be your fault, okay? So don't be that type of person who blocks the escalator for people that are trying to get where they need to go in, because you're gonna look like the asshole, not them, for trying to get to where they need to go. Just think of it like that. And on sidewalks too. This one's a little different. You can't just step on the left or the right because, you know, there's people going in different directions. You just gotta be aware, because there are people trying to walk past you. There are people that are riding bikes past you, trying to get past you left and right, this and that, front and back. You just gotta be aware of where you're going. You can't just like wander lost all over the time in like specific sidewalks that are not designated for tourists, okay? These are like the local villages or prefectures sidewalks, not the, you know, the big city sidewalks are made for, you know, they're wider, so they're made for more of like stopping and looking around and stuff. The little ones, the more small ones, you gotta be wary, because you're just gonna get in people's way. Number 9, seafood is very cheap there, so you're gonna have a lot of seafood places, sushi, ramen, things like that. But if you don't like seafood, you're gonna have to pay more. Things like beef, pork, and chicken are more of a higher commodity, and so they are priced a bit more than seafood. And don't even get me started on lamb, because I've stopped by different shawarma places and they only have chicken and beef. So I don't know if lamb is like considered a devil's food or something, but they don't have that there. So just keep that in mind. If you're not a seafood guy like me, options are a bit more limited when it comes to restaurants. So just do your research, plan ahead, see what restaurants you can visit and things like that that caters to the non-seafoody person that you are. I don't know if you consider this a tip, but number 10, if you are in places that are very tourist oriented, like for instance Harajuku, where you're just in a like busy place with shops and everything all around, you are gonna get approached by people that might scare you a little, okay? In one of my previous videos, I talked about walking through Harajuku, and there is these African American guys, okay? I don't know if they're American, but they're African or of African descent. They're standing on different corners, right? Different corners. I'll give you an example as to how they are. So they're gonna be standing in a corner like over here, like this, hands like this. They're gonna have something in their hand like a plastic placard. They're gonna be standing like this, and they're gonna see you, right? And they're gonna walk up to you and like, hey yo man, you want some hats, bro? You want some hats, man? Come on, hey, I got a shop right over here. Come on, follow me. Come, let's go. Hats. Let's go! Now, they're not that aggressive. Some can be, okay? I was just walking through Harajuku, like, just minding my own business. And this guy just comes to me and says, hey, man. What's up, man? How you doing? Where you from? How you... What? I got hats, man. Come on. Follow me. And I'm like, maybe next time or maybe later. I'll stop by later. You're gonna get solicitors or whatever trying to sell you things that you may or may not want. And they say they have good deals and everything, but it's probably not the best deals. They're just trying to make money. They may lead you to a back alley or something. I'm not saying that they are bad people or they're gangsters or thugs or anything. I'm just saying, you know, you gotta just be careful. Be cautious. Don't take every deal that comes to you. Like they say in Roppongi or the bars, don't follow these people that are saying, hey, come in, free drinks or things like that, because they might spike your drink and charge your credit cards like the max amount, and you'd be like woke up from a blackout, like, where the hell am I? Your butt's a little sore, your wallet's gone, shit just happened, and you're stuck in a dark alley in Tokyo by yourself. No friends, no money. I would say try to avoid them. Don't entertain them, maybe, because, you know, the more you entertain them, the more they're gonna stop you and like interrupt you and things like that, even if you don't want to go with them. So I would just say, like, you know, politely say maybe some other time, or maybe when I come back or something, but just never come back. So that's just like, I don't know, that's just what I felt I saw when I was out there. 11 is, there are some here a couple of things you could say that'll help your trip a little better is wakarimasen. Wakarimasen. It just means I don't understand. And if you tell them that, they may use some broken English to, you know, help you start to understand. For instance, I bought this a bento box in 7-Eleven, and this guy was talking to me, saying something, and I just like looked at him, and then he said hot, heat, and he's like, oh, you want to heat it up for me? I was like, no thank you, things like that. Or you can use ego o hanashimasu ka. Ego o hanashimasu ka. Ego o hanashimasu ka is do you speak English? Most people will say no, some will say yes. It's just, you know, just get it out there. One, it'll let them know that you don't speak Japanese. Two, it'll let you know that they don't speak English. So, two phrases that I used the most while I was in my trip was arigato gozaimasu for every time I got something, and sumimasen when I'm trying to pass people in a crowd. That's basically all I used while I was out there. Number 12 is wear comfortable clothing and shoes. You will be doing a lot of walking no matter where you go. No matter if you take the subway or whatever, unless you're gonna pay a lot of money for a taxi, most of the times you're gonna be walking to your destination. It's gonna get sweaty and your feet's gonna hurt. So be wary about that when you're traveling Japan. Japan is a very walking centric country. They have everything you could use, like bicycles, scooters, taxis, cars, things like that. But most of the time, most of these things are luxuries. So they are expensive to use or own. So most people will just walk. That's how the country is designed. They designed the subway system to get you to the general area, and then you walk the rest of the way. Depending on what season you go to, spring is usually the coolest time to go, so you don't have to wear that much. It's a transition between cold and hot. Autumn is hot to cold, so that's where you're gonna have to wear a little less, I would say. Spring, wear a little bit more. Autumn, wear a little bit less. And winter, wear a lot, basically, because it's gonna get cold. Oh, autumn or fall is also the rainy season, so I suggest get an umbrella, or you can buy it in Japan. The umbrellas are kind of cheap. They're like a little less than $5. You can get the wider ones. I brought the little small compact one where I can only cover my head. That's about it. Everything else is just getting wet. That wasn't a lot of fun times, no. Anyways, I hope this video kind of sort of helped you If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I will be happy to respond when I can. And I plan on going on another trip to Japan sometime within maybe 3 or 4 months. Trying to plan it with a whole bunch of other people this time. Hopefully I actually go with people this time. It'll be more fun. I can film better things without having to worry. Yes, Japan, I'm coming back. Get ready. Peace.